Hi everyone, this is Imran Hassan presenting on behalf of my group Gagan, Jyoti and myself Imran. We are presenting the topic workplace risk, temperature extremities for our GNet 126 Occupational Health and Safety, Professor Jason Dipti. So first of all, I want to describe what is the objective of this presentation we are doing, or what are the areas we have analyzed for doing this presentation and making the paper. Actually, we have some questions like, why do we care about the extreme temperatures? So actually, we can just say, I don't care, but it's not the fact. We will discuss that. And actually, what is how we can measure the extreme temperature, and why do we even bother measuring an extreme temperature? Like many things, and what are actually the effects of this hazardous condition, why we are saying this hazard. Okay, so let's see. So employees work in heat. Extreme heat can suffer from a range of illness which can impact their long-term health, their overall well-being, and that can contribute to a large number of sick days, which is also not good for the companies and employers. So in both ways, for employees suffering and the employers are also suffering. And in either way, dehydration, fainting, heat stroke, exhaustion, even death can occur for these heat extremities. So what is the expected temperature? Actually, we searched a lot, but there is no clear guidelines for what is the expected workplace temperature. But we can say a minimum temperature of 16 degree or 13 degree centigrade, depending on the workplace and the physical activity of the work, is more or less good. However, the employer must do some things to prevent your workplace being uncomfortably hot or extreme cold also. But now today we are only covering the extreme heat. There should also be enough like thermometers or measuring the humidity and the temperatures in the workplace, so that we can measure that okay, the heating is not good, and we can just regulate that. So not only the temperature, actually the humidity, air movement, radiate, heat source, physical exertion, personal factors like age, health, medications, those also is a dependent thing for the workplace temperature and the comforts. So how to control? There are three levels we can describe. If you see my cursor, it is the level of health and safety protection. It goes from lowest to highest. From level 3 is the lowest. It's not saying 0, but lowest. Also the least. So level 1 is eliminating the hazards, which is like eliminating any big hazard, like let's say okay, so the AC is not working, okay, replace the AC. Let's say any people or anyone is affected with heat, just keep him outside, like this. Anything eliminating the hazard and substitute the hazard with something is the level 2. Like okay, AC is not working, we have to replace it. Okay, the AC is not working, substitute it with the opening the window. Or let's say okay, the sun is too much, then okay, go to the shade for some time, or drink more water, or rinse your face and body with water after some time, like this. So it reduces the hazardous condition. And level 3 is like a high level thing, like making some policies and making some spendings for the employers. That it's the administrative action, and they will use like they will introduce some personal protective equipment to supply the training for those equipments, and also several trainings. These are the level 3 one. So level 1 and level 2 is totally dependent on the on-site employee and the supervisor, and the level 3 is done by the higher authority. So now, what are the disorders or what we can face in the extreme heat, like heat stress or whatever you say? So if you can list, it's like a long list, but as a minor to extreme condition like death, we can say, like, you can see like head rashes, head cramps, that the muscle is cramping, and the fainting can occur. It's not like it's going unconscious, which is a vagal syndrome, and heat stroke, that's also going unconscious, and heat exhaustion, like you are feeling respiratory distress or you are feeling suffocating, then that is the heat exhaustion. That I also just say that not only the temperature, there's the surrounding factor, the humidity also important. Like here in North America, like Canada, we also use something like feels like. So what is feels like? Feels like is like it measures all of them together and averages, like the wind chill, the wind blowing, wind chill, the humidity, the temperature, everything. So whatever the temperature is, we actually care about the wind chill or real feel. So what is humidity? If the temperature is hot and the humidity, that like the water in the air is too much, then it is too much humid and you will sweat a lot, and that will result on growing mold and bacteria in everywhere, which is the result of cold infection and everything. But if the humidity is nothing, if the humidity is less, there is no air or anything, then the skin will be dry and itchy. So everything is like extreme of everything is very bad. So what can we do, like and for a preventive measure? Beyond any doubt, the levels are okay, then they're good, but emergency treatment should be always from the first aid to the main emergency. Everything may need it, so we can call 911, we can have first aid boxes everywhere. But anything is happening or anything is intended to occur, impending to occur, then we should direct the employees, the workers, to stop the work and go to the manager or call the manager or director or direct supervisor what's happening. And also we should have, if when everything is done, like the sufferers or the victim, we have to call the doctor or the paramedics or 911 to take care of them after we are giving the primary care. And then after all, if everything is okay and everything is finished, and then we have to complete a report. It's the employee's responsibility to complete a warmth report related to the incident that can be investigated, so all the weaknesses and everything. So maybe the not the employee, the supervisor should write it on behalf of the employees and the witness it. What are the means we can introduce for the comfortable temperature? Actually, what we are using now, like in the indoor, you're using air conditions, fans, electric heatings, open windows, building insulations, layout and workstation, direct sunlight control, like using shades and everything like these, controlling airflow, these things. So actually, how to maintain a workplace temperature that is perfect is very like a discussable thing, and it's not always specific because it depends on whether the workplace is outdoor or indoor. Also, it depends on too much heat or too cold. Both are not good. Also, it depends on the worker's personal feeling. For outdoor workplace, we must depend on the weather forecast, but also we can implement some rules of using the personal protective measures to wear like sunglasses, sunscreens, helmets, gloves, and also employers have to introduce to aware the employees or workers and set some trainings and all those stuffs. But if you see a general rule like 16 degrees to 24 degrees centigrade in indoor and outdoor, it's very comfortable thing. So if you go for the effect and cause and everything, there are two things, like one is outdoor temperature and another is the warmth or heat that is producing from our body. So both of them is very harmful. So whenever it's not about only the sunlight or the heat outside. So in the lunchtime, like after the lunch, the metabolic rate is increased in our body and the body is producing more heat. So even if the morning temperature and the afternoon temperature is the same, at afternoon human will feel more hot and more uncomfortable because of the metabolic rate. So both are affecting the heat stress, which can affect the physiological change, psychological change, and clinical health risk, diminished performance and activity, which can result heat stroke, heat effects of other illness like fainting and everything, increased accident risk, reduced of the work capacity. All of them results for negative impact to the population health and the community economic as well. So actually there are lots of say, but for the time constraint, this is the thing, like the extreme heat is very much bad, even like both also the extreme cold, any extremities is very bad. So temperature at work environment ought to be balanced according to the climate, weather forecast, according to the workplace and the work also, and the level of comfortness of the workers. Thank you. Bye.